June 19th, 2023, Supercell released the first 4 Clash Royale evolution cards. These included the Barbarians, the Royal Giant, the Firecracker, and the Skeletons. At the time of this recording, there are currently 11 different evolutions in the game. Being that the majority of the evolutions have been common rarity, I wanted to take all of the remaining common cards and make one evolution idea for each one of them. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like to show me that you guys want to see another video with all the rare cards. Now, without any further ado, let's jump into the first card evolution. The Electro Spirit. Starting us off, we have the Electro Spirit. At the end of the chain attack, it deploys a single lightning strike on the highest health troop that it hit during its chain attack. I'm really proud of this concept, not only because I believe that it's not overpowered, but because I believe that it actually makes sense in battle. For example, let's say there's a graveyard and a knight on your tower. The Electro Spirit will chain onto all the skeletons and then deal a lightning strike onto the knight. Or let's say you're facing Lava Hound and they have bats, it will chain onto the bats and then it'll deal a lightning strike onto the Lava Hound. As far as evolutions go, this one might be the best fit for this card. The Fire Spirit. Moving on, we have the Fire Spirit, and this one's a bit confusing, so try and stay with me. Whatever troops the Fire Spirit jumps onto become cursed for a few seconds, similar to the Mother Witch attack. If and when the cursed enemy troops die, they will turn into friendly Fire Spirits who will then turn to attack your opponent's troops and towers. So basically, if you deploy an evolution Fire Spirit onto a skeleton army, all the skeletons will turn into Fire Spirits. I also believe that it would make sense to increase the splash zone so that more troops can get affected. I don't know how broken this evolution would be, but I think it's a very fun and interesting way to go about it. Goblins. So I couldn't really come up with any good evolution ideas for the goblin, so they are going to be one of the worser ones on this list, but I did come up with something. Instead of holding one knife, why not give them 2 knives? Or swords or daggers or whatever they're holding, I really don't care that much. My idea behind this was that they would be able to attack 2 troops at once, or attack the same troop, but do double the damage. Since, you know, they're holding 2 knives. I wish I could have thought of a better evolution idea for these guys, but it does enhance their stats, so I'm okay with it. Bomber. Short and simple, he drops a bomb when he dies. What do you want from me? That is a no-brainer. Like, sure, I could have said that maybe he throws them further or does more damage, they have bigger blast radius, but I think it makes sense to just have him drop the bomb that he's holding. Like the other troops, you got Giant Skeleton, Bomb Tower, even the Balloon. Like, it would just make sense that he drops the bomb that he's holding. And it would be even better like on defensive situations, where you might play him in front of the tower instead of onto the side. And when he dies, he just blows up the push. I don't know, I feel like this evolution fits the card pretty well, and it's already a mechanic that's in the game for a couple other cards, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched for Supercell to add this to the Bomber. Spear Goblins. I actually really like this idea for the evolution Spear Goblins, and that's on giving them knockback spears. It doesn't have to be a crazy knockback mechanic, just something to be more helpful on defense. And of course, like the other evolutions, you can maybe give them more health or a faster attack speed. I was actually between 2 evolution ideas for the Spear Goblins, and the other one was giving them like a harpoon spear. Instead of knocking them back, it would pull them into the Spear Goblins like a fisherman attack. Both of these abilities make for a great evolution idea. I'm just not sure which one I like more, so let me know in the comments down below which one you guys prefer. The Zap. Along with actually getting zapped and stunned, units affected by the zap are also inflicted with the Ram Rider snare for a few seconds. Now, I'm not too sure how much this one actually makes sense as far as being realistic to the game, but I do think that it would feel like an evolution more than a brand new card. It definitely isn't easy coming up with an evolution idea for spells just because they can be so game breaking and are pretty much in every single deck that you'd face, and I wanted to stay on the route of taking the card as it is and buffing it just a little bit so that it still feels like the same card, just a little bit more powerful. So yeah, just the side effects of getting zapped, I guess. The Giant Snowball. Cards hit by the snowball are affected by slowness for their entire remaining life duration. This one can actually be really good for you on defense, but really bad for you on offense. On defense, there's no question that enemy cards moving slower is easier and better for you to defend. However, if you happen to use it on offense, whatever you hit on your opponent's side of the bridge will begin to slowly walk to your tower and will allow for your opponent to build up a bigger and stronger push. You definitely have to play around the evolution, as it's not just another normal snowball, and it creates more of a high skill, high reward scenario. Minions. 2 seconds after being deployed, or after finishing an attack, the minions will turn invisible. I feel as though with minions is that if they're left alone pushing a tower, they often get ignored or they place like a cheap spirit just to defend it, so I wanted to create a little bit more urgency by making them go invisible. This would almost force your opponents to overspend elixir just to counter them. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this one. It's kind of like a basic mechanic, but yeah. Evolution minions. Skeleton, barrel. Oh, I like this one. This one's a juicy one. After being deployed, every second it drops 2 skeletons from the barrel onto the arena. I honestly have no idea why I like this one so much. I just find it such an annoying concept that it would make a great fit for the skeleton barrel. Because the skeleton barrel itself is very annoying to deal with. You either have to let it hit your tower and use a spell, or you have to overcommit sometimes. I don't know, I just feel like adding more chaos with more skeletons, I think is like the perfect fit for this card as an evolution. What I also really like about this concept is that you could use it on defense by placing it in the back and just have it drop skeletons on your side and help you defend. I feel like this evolution could create such a versatile card that might be used in so many more decks. Honestly, right now, I don't see it being used very often. The cannon. Double cannon. From Clash of Clans. I mean, why waste your time here? Clash of Clans already did it, so we'll do it second. Yeah. Arrows. Alright, this one might be a little bit controversial, so I'll let you be the judge of that. Any cards affected by the arrows will take double damage, so essentially, they have half the health. Now that I think about it, it might be more balanced if you make it like a time frame, so like it's not the entire duration. But that's what I had in mind at first, so I'm going to stick with that. My thought process behind this one was basically it leaves a wound, so they're going to be more prone to taking damage. As I said before, spells are really hard to find a balanced evolution for, so I don't know what other route I can go with this one, but moving on. Royal Delivery. I actually have 2 concepts for this one. One is a little bit game breaking and the other one is kind of boring, so I'll just fire them both off. The first one being, when it gets deployed, it just does a knockback. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Now, the one that may be a little broken but would definitely catch my vote is that there are actually 2 deliveries that are dropped at once, and the second one is mirrored to the first one. Let me explain. So it would kind of act like the Mighty Miner, where if you place it further left, then the other one's going to be mirrored further right, and if you place it in the middle, it'll also drop closer to the middle. I really love this one because it kind of follows the same vibe as the Royal Recruits, being that they create split lane pressure and can be really solid on split lane defense. I find it such a unique concept, but it might not work balanced wise, being that it provides you 2 deliveries for the price of 1. If it weren't for that, it would definitely be one of my favorite evolutions on this list. It might be the one that I'd want to see Supercell add the most. The Goblin Gang. Oh, do I have some more controversy for you. When I was thinking of these evolution ideas, I really wanted to create something new for each card, but this one could potentially be the most broken one on this list. Each troop in the Goblin Gang takes significantly less damage until it crosses the bridge. Basically think of the Evolution Knight's shield on each of the troop in the Goblin Gang on the entirety of your side of the arena. That would be insane, and that's why I'm here for it. It would be such an annoying troop to deal with when they play it on defense, it wouldn't even be funny. Obviously they could still be killed, but it would just make it so that they just stay on your side basically for the entire defense until they cross the bridge. This evolution may just crash Clash Royale's Twitter. Anyways, the Tesla does a triple chain attack where it does 2 times, 1.5 times, and 1 times damage multiplier for the first, second, and third attack. I could have gone in so many directions for this card, but this is the one I landed on. The first part of the evolution, being that it does a triple chain attack, means that it deals with Swarm a lot better, being able to chain onto 3 different targets. The second part of the ability of doing 2 times, 1.5 times, and 1 times damage is just so that if they place a single troop down, that it keeps hitting them for twice the damage and you don't waste your evolution. I can definitely see this being a really strong card, but I think it would work really well for the meta and they could definitely balance it out. For example, I see beatdown everywhere in the meta right now, and this would be very helpful on defense, dealing the double damage hit onto the tank, then the chain hits all the support troops behind it. I'm pretty sure that they're actually doing a Tesla evolution this year, so I'm really excited to see the path that they take on this one. Skeleton Dragons. Give them a shield. Yeah, I never said that they're all going to be bangers. I apologize for that. Some of them are kind of basic. But there actually was some thought process behind this one, and it was actually to prevent being able to kill them with spells while they're on defense. Obviously, it's not going to prevent you from being able to kill them, but it's going to make it super frustrating when they have that extra protection on them. I don't know, I find that sometimes they just die too easily, so I just want to make them just a little bit more annoying. The Minion Horde. 1 second after being deployed, or 1 second after finishing attack, they begin to fly significantly faster. Basically, they get a haste effect. Not a rage effect where they attack faster, but they just fly faster. I think it'd be so funny watching people miss their spells because the minions are so fast and fly out of the spell radius. With most of these evolutions, I really just wanted to think, how could I make this card more annoying than it already is? And with Minion Horde, that answer was make them even harder to hit. Because if you miss your arrows, then say goodbye to your left Princess Tower. The Rascals. One of my personal favorite cards, so I kind of went all out on this one. When a Rascal girl or boy dies, the remaining members will become stronger. When one of the three is alive, they are the most powerful, doing more damage and faster. Basically, as each member drops, the remaining ones get more powerful. I feel like they have this really strong bond, so making it that when one of them dies, they get furious and get raged up. I kind of referenced the baby dragon in Clash of Clans, that when it gets split up from the other baby dragons, it gets enraged. It would also make your opponent question whether they should spell out the Rascal Girls or not when you place them in the back, because then the Rascal Boy will be even more powerful. I feel like this is actually one of the more balanced ones that I've come up with on this list, and it could be one that they can easily implement into the game. The Elite Barbarians. The final card on our list, and probably one of the most annoying cards in the game. The evolution idea for this one is pretty simple. When you place them, they disappear off the face of the arena. No, but seriously, who still uses Elite Barbarians in 2024? Seeing that this card is really annoying as it is, I wanted to tone it down for the evolution so it wasn't completely overpowered. But then I remembered I'm talking about Elite Barbarians and they're going to be overpowered anyways, so let me just make it evolution that's overpowered. So each Elite Barbarian has a radius around them that's similar to the Electro Giant. Any of your troops inside of that radius deal the damage of an Elite Barbarian. Picture this, you have one Elite Barbarian and you have an entire skeleton army around it. Each skeleton is going to deal the same amount of damage as that Elite Barbarian. Yep, that is the evolution for the Elite Barbarian. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.